We are live.
Where's your phone?
Over there, why?
I don't know. I'm not gonna be able to answer chat in here.
It doesn't come up?
I don't know. Hi everybody. We're winging it tonight. We were supposed to go on live and we are, and I don't have a red cup because we might be somewhere. Do you guys know what that is? Do you know what that is? Do you see what that is? That is.
Yeah, there we
Look what's behind us. That's called Vegas, baby. That's called Vegas.
Who says I got fooled? You didn't think we were going live, but we are.
We're going.
There you go.
We're going live.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hi guys. I got fooled.
J.K. Pioneer, Hooley, Eleanor, Albert, Lauren, Christina, and Eleanor and Hooley. Hey, how's over the London eye? Yeah, we're in London, everybody. That's right. We just decided to jump on a plane and go.
Black Rider, I haven't seen you in a while. Hello there. Or maybe I have, but we haven't chatted in a while. So we had some things change. We have some friends in town, and so we're hoping to meet up with them in just a little bit. So we decided we needed to go live because we didn't want to tease things. And I did return from Santa Fe, wanted to give you guys that update. And yeah, Susie, it wasn't a sweet tonight. Kiddos are with us, so the only way that you can get more than one bed, and we're not going to all stack in one king bed, it's either penthouse or regular room. So we're in the regular old room, which we are happy and fine. We're happy and fine with. But if you didn't know, Valley's opened their pool today because it was 90 degrees. So I know in some parts of the world, it's Mike's mom called. It's snowing in Detroit. What? Okay, you don't want to be on.
Do both of us, so yeah, just do it.
So okay, then go. You can go. Just
well,
go
I'm going to
away.
read the
Just
chat. Next stop, Puerto Rico. Santa Fe to Puerto Rico, direct flight.
You know what? We should have the debate that you and I are having offline. Mm-hmm. We should have it with our people.
We should. What's up, Czar?
Yeah, Mike and I don't agree with maybe how far is too far to get the answers that we need.
Too far to walk?
Yeah, it's too far to walk.
You can't get into anybody's personal information, right? But just saying somebody's moving to another state, to me, that's not personal. You can, if we said anybody, we heard so-and-so's moving to Michigan. Well, that's just broad. That's okay.
Yeah, and right? So I might have gotten some additional information of how the treasure chest was actually found. And it does pertain to more than just Jack, but would reveal other things. Either family, friends, those kinds of things. And Mike's like, that's kind of off limits. We can't talk about that. But I'm like, but it's related to the treasure chest find. So if it's credible, which I think it's credible, you have to say the sources are credible.
Right.
I think it should be fair game. Mike does not. Well, and so we're debating this.
I don't think anybody's family should be brought into it.
Okay, right? So let's just say hypothetically, Jack had a sister. I don't think he does. So right. Jack has a sister, and the sister was boots on the ground with him when he found the treasure chest.
Gotcha.
Chat room, do you believe if I found out that Jack's sister was boots on the ground with him?
This is just a hypothetical.
Hypothetical, because I don't think a sister exists. If there was a sister, which doesn't exist, and if she was boots on the ground, and if someone found that out, do you think that should be discussed? That Jack wasn't alone, or maybe somebody else has the treasure chest location. Do you think that, and maybe it's a friend of Jack's, maybe it's a friend of Forrest. Do you think maybe it's family, etc.? Do you think that's off limits? Mike and I are debating that.
Albert says we'd love to know, not sure we need to know. Well, now you could talk about that he had a sister, but I don't think you should try and mention any names or get any information about the sister. Does that make sense? You could just say there was a group of 4 people with Jack, but we're not going to go into who they were and not where they live and not all that.
But the only way we'll get additional information, because quite honestly, let's use your example.
Right.
There are 4 people that was with Jack.
Right.
Those 4 people have family, and let's say somebody leaks some information. We have to give the full context, right?
Yeah, maybe. Chasing Indy says, how does this give us answers, though? Like, how does it help? So let's
If
say
you
you're right.
believe-
That he had a sister that was with him. But how does that help
If
or
someone
matter?
then knew the sister, and if that information came out then, that where the sister was, it gets you down where Jack was. If you believe Jack is the finder, then wouldn't it tell you where?
If you figure out where the sister was searching?
Right.
Yeah, I see
Like,
what
you
you're
know,
saying.
I have a picture
Right.
of a trip
Mhm.
of some people related or somewhat related. If that information was more apparent, then it would help down the rabbit hole, right?
I guess. Actually, this was part of the thing that I talked to the reporter about today. So.
I didn't talk to the reporter.
Yeah, there is an article coming out, everybody, but I'm not for a couple months. But I did talk to a reporter about this very issue, about how in depth do you go when you're trying to uncover things about Jack. And I was like, well, we don't give any personal info. That we shouldn't. I don't think we should
Well,
give personal
but
info.
Jack thought we
About
had
Puerto Rico.
issues of
Yeah.
all the Puerto Rican people now were not safe.
Well, when you
Jack
say
wrote us
a
right
penthouse
after.
in Puerto Rico, that's pretty broad. I don't think anybody's gonna narrow anything down. But what I told the reporter is, anybody that would try and figure out where Jack lives is gonna do that regardless of whether we say he went to Puerto Rico or not. Like, if somebody's obsessed or somebody has the means, they're doing that on their own anyway. It has nothing to do with our show, right? In my opinion.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not, you should,
Only the edge.
okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Packer Jack says, ironically, Jack's hypothetical sister's name is Barbara.
No. Okay. So in general, that's the kind of things that, because I do have to say there's a lot of different searchers with a lot of different opportunities for information. I will say some searchers know some of Jack's family, some of Forrest's friends, some of Forrest's family, and there's a lot of information that I'm getting, and I've already told Jack there is some information I've gotten, and I'm not going to share it because it does put information out that I don't think should be. But what is the line? And Mike and I are having that debate right now. People are sharing stuff. People are sharing stuff. I just don't know. Mike and I need to at least come into agreement. I've already said anybody that gets anything not legally, I won't even look at. I won't open. I don't want to be a part of. But if it's legal information and just information that they may have, I don't know, come into, it's putting together a very interesting story.
Well, but okay, so here's the other deeper question. So a deeper question is, like Mr. Foff. Some people are like, I know who that is. So does he have a right to blame us for talking about him? If these people know who he is? In other words, if somebody was to contact him or anything, we didn't use any names. We didn't say who it was. We used the pseudonym, right? The anonymous name.
Right, Mr. F-Off.
F-Off.
I
Mr.
didn't know
F-Off.
that. I didn't know that, people. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's fine to do it like that. But yeah, how do you, what is the line? So for one, there's a legal line, then there's
Yeah,
a
I
moral
won't-
line and an ethical line. Are those three different lines? I don't know.
I don't know.
But
And
you know,
that's
there's
what we're
what's
going
right,
through right
and then
now.
there's what's legal. Yeah, those are two
Right,
different
and
things. So
there's
of course
a
we don't want
lot-
to do anything illegal. That's not what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
that's definitely the Jason Indy says Mr. Foff and Azad, because Mr. Foff is rather opinionated, and so
But chasing Indy, what if you had the wrong one? What if you didn't have the right Mr. Foff? Wouldn't that be funny? But side note, thank you to Chasing Indy for the coffee cup she sent, which I'm not at the command center, so I can't show you, but she sent a Dungeons and Dragons coffee cup, and she said you're going to love what she's got coming in the mail for you.
she
So
should.
Chasing Indy on YouTube, you guys know her. Go check it out. Go
Yeah.
subscribe to her channel. Thanks, Candy.
Yeah, so we're
Okay.
trying. So I think that's. I think it's good to have debates. Mike said, "Do you want somebody at your house?" Somebody has been at my house before
Right,
when
we
I
don't
was
want
single.
that.
Yeah. You don't want that, but I do consider myself as a general searcher a little bit different than someone who found the treasure chest and isn't willing to give information, and we're looking for what the solution is. I don't care about Jack and his family, quite honestly. If we had the solution, it would be over for me. Meaning, I think a lot of us would move on if we had the solution. Jack saying some of the things he said, especially with Forrest saying something completely different, I'm in a little bit of a different place, and the good part is Mike and I know how to debate healthy and respectfully.
Yeah.
What does Jack want? Jack has said, shut down YouTube, shut down Thor, everyone go home. Why are you guys even discussing this? I have the treasure chest, it's over. That is what, in my opinion, because he has communicated directly with me.
And did Forrest kind of have the same attitude?
Yeah, Forrest was, and I think both Jack and Forrest may be on the same page. They are both shocked anybody is still even around.
Right.
It's like at the end of Ferris Bueller's Day Off, or what's that Jim Carrey movie?
Truman Show?
Truman Show, where it's like, it's over. This is it.
Right.
It's over.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I
What are you
think,
still doing here? It's over.
Yeah.
But it's not over. For so many of it, this is what I talked to the reporter about today as well. He wanted to know, why are so many people still interested? He was like, why are you guys still doing shows about to throw the chase when it's found? And when it's over? And I said, it's called Forrest Fenn Treasure Found because people want answers. They want to know. There's the conspiracy people. There's the conspiracy theory people who still think the chest is out there. There's the people who think Forrest had it retrieved, that Jack is not the legitimate finder. And then there's the people who believe it played the way Forrest and Jack portrayed it, but we still want the solution to the poem and the location. And that's a lot of people, you know.
Well,
Still
Jack
people
has no
wanna know.
right to tell us how to cope with this terrible ending. I think he has a right, like everyone
Sound
else.
like Greg.
Well, no, Greg would have used F words
Right.
and things. Hi, Greg.
Yeah.
I think Jack has the right to be frustrated. I think there's things we don't know, so we don't know what Jack's going through. But I have a right to tell Jack, which I did when he wrote me very upset, and he's done it more than once, to the conspiracy theories really frustrate him. He feels he is the finder. That's it. Go home. And
Jack-
I have the right to say to Jack, you have the control to change this. Give the solution, give something. Otherwise, we are going to explore this. We are going to go down rabbit holes. We are going to continue. I don't have the power to change that. If I shut down Thor, some other site would discuss it more. Treasures galore. I mean, we might have Cowlazars page and it's very, very active. So is Treasures Galore. Does he then go after Janet and Charles and say, shut it down? And then does he go to Stephanie on Chase Chat and there might be more than one posting every week? Yeah, I mean, if our opportunity is not there to discuss, people will find a way to discuss. I know a lot of people that are doing private Zooms right now discussing lots of things. So he has a right to say, I'm frustrated by this. I recognize your feelings, Jack, but we're frustrated more. And guess who's in control? You are. We're not. So because we're not, I don't know. That's my opinion on the subject. But how far do we go? With the amount of information I have coming in, I don't know what to believe and not to believe. So part of me wants to go down the rabbit hole and verify. Like if I was told his sister was boots on the ground, can I contact various people? Can I discuss those sorts of things? Mike and I don't agree yet, so I don't know. I can't bring it to you all yet. I have discussed with some personal friends. I don't know what the answer is yet. And so until that happens, again, I'll never act illegally. I'll never pass on anything. I do it genuinely. Like Puerto Rico, I believe, and I perhaps still do, there is a connection between Jack and Puerto Rico. He says there's absolutely not. When we presented it, we absolutely presented it with what we thought was factual information. Jack is saying otherwise. Lots of reports and information say otherwise. So it's informational to have. But does it matter where Jack is right now? I think it does. I actually think that lends credence to him being the actual finder because he's trying to sell. Have the source share post as a guest. So here's the hard part.
Which source are we talking about?
I'm assuming any
Isn't there
source.
2 or 3 now?
Yeah, there's lots of
Yeah.
sources. Either they don't want to because they themselves, like our first source, he was flat out cotton lies, or misinformation. We don't want to say lies because Mike is still buddies with him. And so I'm not going to get involved at the level. I'm willing to share what I think is factual once it's relevant. I've been given tons of information I don't feel is verified yet or factual enough or related enough. Here's one I haven't even told you about.
Yeah.
Somebody believes that
I don't have the sound.
No.
Go ahead.
Aw. Somebody believes they found somebody that Jack had a past relationship with. totally off. I don't care.
Okay.
I'm sorry to say, I just don't care. Unless it was during the hunt, I don't care that there's a high school significant other out there.
So some people, so let me ask you this, why does it matter if he moves to Puerto Rico then? How does that affect anything?
Because I believe, like my presentation clearly outlined,
I know.
that the reason for that was because he is trying to get a tax advantage. That actually shows then, stop thinking conspiracy theory, K-Pro. I'm part of me doesn't still believe all of this was just Jack found it. Forrest died 4 weeks, or 8 weeks later, and then Peggy died. Yeah, and then this is all. Part of me says this validates that. Then he's not doing anything illegal. He's allowed.
Right. Well, like what I look at it as, because we're interested in the treasure chest part, and if he was to move out of the country, that affects him selling it. Like that's the part we want to know, because I think we put ourselves in his position. If we would have found it, would we ever consider moving to Puerto Rico in order to sell it and do the residency thing and then sell it, and then I'm assuming come back once you're done with that? I don't know, but it's fun to talk about. It's fun to think about.
It's fun to talk about if it doesn't genuinely upset Jack.
Right.
He genuinely seemed upset for all the people of Puerto Rico, and I don't find that logical. And he seems so logical in what he's done. Hey guys. And what he's done, why was he so angry? I mean, there was
well, it was an email. I mean, can you tell? I mean, he wasn't happy.
The curse words alone, yes.
What? Oh, is that right? Yeah. Hey, Randy, you had me for about half a second. Moving to Puerto Rico for 1 or 2 million is not worth it. Moving to Puerto Rico for $1 million.
If you were single without kids, I remember in my early 20s, my boss came to me and said, "Can you go to Brussels, Belgium for a month?" And he's like, "We have somebody else, but they have kids. They have a life situation here. They can't." I'm like, "I would love to." I had a cat. I had to call my mom and say, "Can you take care of my cat? I'm going to Brussels," because he was like, "It's in 3 days." I was excited.
Yeah, and it all depends on your life journey and where you're at. Yeah.
Exactly.
The other thing is, what if Jack has had some knucklehead show up at his house? Maybe he's looking at moving for a different reason. I mean, we don't know everything that Jack's going through.
But if we have it, that means I'm not paying for anything. I'm not getting into any of that. If I've had more than one person send me the Puerto Rico stuff and all the details, and there's lots of updates since then, I haven't shared those, but if we have them, many others have them. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, and it's none of us two are the ones doing the digging. I'll make that clear. Right. I don't care what Jack does. Yeah. I just want to know where the treasure chest was.
Well,
Hashtag
so
GPS.
Lucky Digger says knuckleheads better not come to my house.
Right.
I remember when I had the searcher come to my house, and the only reason I know they were searchers, my son was playing outside. They said some expletives. Sam, can you turn that down, please? I mean, I would say the same thing. Like, I was ready and I came out and what do? You can either play victim, you can go strong. I mean, I did go to authorities. I got it taken care of as much as I could, but it's not something you want. So, okay, we were going to talk about Santa Fe though. You guys want to talk about Santa Fe?
Or Jack, you guys pick.
Yeah.
So yeah, K-Pro did go on assignment for the treasure hunting amusement park to Santa Fe, New Mexico. Top secret mission. That's why I was solo and did a baseball card thing instead of our normal show. Yeah. Okay. So you want to say what you found?
Going on with COVID passport crap? Only going to hurt businesses. Okay. So it's kind of interesting about the shotgun out. I guess I get off my lawn. No, I was pretty forceful though. And anyway, I don't even want to go back there. That was a couple years ago. Lots have happened. So Mike can deal with the chat because the chat's going by because we only have devices. So here's there was some reasons that I went personally to Santa Fe. I won't discuss some of those. Oh, cool.
Yeah, sorry. We got a super chat from Indiana Jones and I didn't even notice it. So thanks, Indiana Jones. We appreciate it for that $1.99 super chat. Okay, yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, so headed out, I actually was able to take the kiddos, and we headed out. We had not been to Meow Wolf. We did a couple of just things with friends and people in Santa Fe. I have a video that Forrest told me there was a location in Santa Fe that he thought I would find very interesting. I went to it when I was a searcher.
Was there a nook? Oh, it's not. Oh, I don't know. I'm asking.
Shame on him.
Even I don't know what Cape. I was home with the animals. I stayed home.
Yeah, okay, hold on. Let me catch up with the chat. Hey, K-Pro, undercover reporter. No, that's why I won't tell
Chasing
you.
Indy says, I know why, but I won't tell because I'm K-Pro's secret keeper as always. Chasing
Indy knows some
Indy.
things, but I will say there's a couple of things I've told no one, including Mike, because though I don't keep things from my husband, I knew Forrest before Mike, and so there's some things that are just, I don't know,
Private.
private.
Yeah, I get
Private.
that.
It's just private. That's the only word.
Now here's an easy one to answer from Tony
Okay.
F. Hey room, Jack said all 9 clues were in Wyoming. Has there been any change in this info? Jack found it and it's over, correct? How would you answer that, Gabriel?
There was an email that Jack said all 9 clues were in Wyoming.
Of course they were.
Many believe the hunt is over because there is a treasure chest in a vault in Santa Fe, New Mexico. So yes, I would say that has not changed. There has not been breaking news enough for that to have changed.
Well, I would say the treasure chest has been found, but the thrill of the chase isn't over because we're all still here expecting answers and trying to get answers. So I wouldn't say the thrill of the chase is over, but I would say the treasure chest has been found. It was found in Wyoming, and all the clues were in Wyoming as well.
Yeah, and I know some people got upset about us saying that we're only going to discuss, or Mike wanted to say only solutions in Wyoming, and some people that are really dug into New Mexico, and I said I didn't want to talk about solutions at all. Here's my thoughts. I know of several different groups or people that are investigating their rabbit hole. For me, it's Jack's story, the ending of the treasure hunt, and the couple of months after that. That's important, and that's where I'm spending my time. I don't want to spend it on solutions, if you were in second, if you were the one toe-to-toe, if you're the lead searcher, etc. I think some people are trying to do that. They're looking at the poem now in a new way, etc. And then, like Indy is trying to get into the story of what the treasure chest itself is about, and thinks that there are some ways to uncover that. Fendi and Bear are getting into the book again now with everything we know. I'm okay with everyone else. I think some people are really upset at us, and they always have been, and I think that's rather nonsense, shenanigans. If we wanted to focus on our area, I do not want to disrespect people that come on our show to give us their solve, and their solve is something I'm not interested in, and I'm not kind. I want to be as kind as I can be. So that's not where I want to spend my time. Some people have asked for marathons of 12 hours of doing that. Oh my God, I would rather go to the doctor, and I don't go to the doctor. What do you say about that?
I think we should do a future phone call show, live phone calls, where people can get their solve, but we call them. So in other words, we're not interrupted when we're talking about things. I ask ahead of time, give me your number, I will call you around this time, give or take 15 minutes. But we reserve the right to cut people off. So I'm just going to hang up on people. In other words, we'll kind of have fun with it. You can come on, you can talk about your solve, but as soon as we go into the unknown conspiracy territory, and it's up to me and K-Pro, we're just going to do the bye-bye sound clip and just cut you off. That's all. Because a lot of people last time were like, why are you letting so-and-so talk for so long? You should have cut them off 5 minutes ago. So I think we could have fun with it.
Yeah, but then, so this is how I see it. And I think we had a caller on that now is really angry and making some really harsh comments on YouTube channels about your chat room is so pretentious. You people don't even understand, you know, the planet of Pluto or the planet of whatever is important. I'm not going to say no because I don't have the treasure chest and I'm not Jack with the solution or the family, but I will do it. I have done.
You'll sit through it for the community.
I have sat through Bigfoot documentaries that
Bogey
Mike really
Creek,
loves,
72,
and I can get through it. It's not where my passion is. My passion is trying to find. I don't think knowing everyone. So, but Bear and Fendi want to do this, and so I will do it. But I don't. It's funny because if you guys know Decal Thomas way back in the day put his solution out. And I remember talking to him that day. He's like, I'm going to put it out and everybody is going to go there. It's going to be crazy. And he put it out and he was shocked. And I think most people are shocked. No one cares about their solution. They are fixated on theirs. Do you think there's all of a sudden going to be an aha moment that everybody goes away from their solution? Indy's always going to be at the fire hole. Bill Gorman's not going to say, "Oh, it wasn't Moses. It was yours."
Fire hole.
I get, like, it's just.
I want to hear from the people who had Isa Lake in their solve before the GPS solve came out. I want to hear the solutions in that area of how they arrived there without GPS numbers. That would be interesting to me.
That would be really interesting.
And then we got Mummy's Cave and Pahaska, did I say it? And Cody and Medicine Wheel, Pahaska, whatever. Then Try the Wheel, all kinds of things.
All kinds of things. So, okay, anyway, let's stop that discussion there. Everyone loves their solution. That's not where I would prefer to use my time, but if Mike convinces me, I got a comic book collection with him. I'll go anywhere.
And we made millions of dollars.
Millions
of dollars.
Yeah, keyword in the poem, no czar. Jack says there's not one.
Yeah, he says he just didn't ask. Forrest, he didn't ask.
And he
it's
didn't
crazy.
have one,
Never
so
came up.
I mean, it's just remarkable.
Well, when Forrest slips up in an interview, that was the key word, wasn't it? He doesn't need a key word in the poem. That, I had that thought today, was what if he called Forrest to get permission, retrieves it, brings it down, and Forrest says, well, how'd you find it? And he goes, well, you slipped up in an interview. And Forrest goes, oh, well, you didn't actually follow the clues, did you? And he takes it back and says, you didn't fulfill the contract the right way. Wouldn't that be something? Talk about a sad horn.
Quack, quack, quack.
All right, we are at Bally's, so Czar, if you got a bet, anybody got a sports bet out there, send it my way.
Don't send it to
Email
him.
me, Cowlazars, a little NCAA championship this weekend. Gonzaga, right? All the way? I don't know what the point spread is. Okay, anyway, back to the Santa Fe trip.
Okay. So we went to Santa Fe.
Mm-hmm.
Here's, I have a couple pictures. I'm going to have to do this
Uh-oh.
a little bit on the fly. Here's a really funny thing. I showed some guys, I may have played some poker today. I'm not saying. And when I did, they're like, I wonder how the rest of the country's doing when it comes to the casinos, etc. Let me show you one, my friends. So we were driving through, look at that one. So
look at that.
66 says,
how rude. NM residents only.
Yeah,
How
they
rude
actually
is
check
that?
IDs. They only want people in their state, which I just found fascinating. So
That's crazy. I've never heard of that. That'd be like Vegas saying, oh, if you're not from Nevada, you can't come in.
So a week ago is when they lifted a lot of their restrictions. And so a lot of the companies on, or a lot of the art shops, all of that, restaurants, etc., opened. What?
Chasing Indy has a question.
What was that? Okay, hold on.
Did you run into anybody while you were there?
So
Crickets.
you guys, I'm focusing on content.
All you have to do is say yes and then just move on. She didn't ask who it was.
Yes, I ran into people when I was in
There
New
you go,
Mexico.
and then
That's
move on.
all I have to say.
Yeah.
Okay, so the really cool part about my kids were with me, and it's so it got interesting. Okay, so okay, so spent 4 days in Santa Fe.
4 days in Santa Fe.
Yeah.
Is that an email?
Yeah,
okay.
those are email. I get announcements on my iPad. So
Right.
Mike now deals with what I deal with. I'm starting to get emails while I'm on, and this is what happens. And this is why after each show, I'm like, Mike, leave me alone for a little bit, because I try to respond to emails if I can. Okay, so I will say Santa Fe itself is starting to come back. You guys are going to see, I'm going to start a channel about Vegas. It actually already started a little bit. It was only going to be on poker, but so many people are asking, what's Vegas like? Is it coming back? Is it reopening? I will tell you, Santa Fe is pretty much reopening. Limited hours, not a ton of people, but the shops were opening, and I got to sit and talk with lots of business owners. They are aware that the Forrest Fenn treasure has been found. I will tell you in general, I think they are excited about that, because I think there's a lot of negative that Santa Fe has had to deal with. So that's the first thing. Hold on. Can you do this?
Give me a call back
When-
tomorrow, please. Okay.
Okay, I'll come back to that. So I think there's a lot of people in Santa Fe that were ready for the Fenn hunt to be over. As you guys know, we all call them the 7%ers, but there was a lot of negative brought to Santa Fe, and there still is. There's still people searching and relocating and being in Santa Fe. I mean, it's tough for the city, the family, et cetera, et cetera. Were you in Santa Fe, or was Santa Fe in you all along? I'd never been to Santa Fe before the Forrest Fenn hunt. So there was a place that I have videoed. I'm going to ask Mike to share the video because Forrest told me, I want to say how he said it. It's interesting. It's a place that you should have of interest or something like that. And this is way back in the day. I talked to searchers about it at the time. They're like, yeah, everybody knows that. And so I never did a video initially. And so I just went and I videoed the location and all of the hints. There was a brown. There was a couple of things.
Is this the Nez Pierce thing? No.
No.
Oh, okay.
It's
Sorry.
The area that I told you I was going to video.
Oh yeah. Oh yes. I know what you mean. Yeah.
So I'll get that video, or Mike will get that video up and available.
Because I'd never been to this place. I know where it is, but I've never been there myself. So it'll be cool to watch the video because I have not seen it yet as well. So I'll watch it live with you guys. So
And so I will say Forest Home it doesn't seem to be for sale. I did go by just the street and just drove by. And someone asked me, did I leave flowers? I did not, but I paid my little respects in my own way.
Where? All right.
Forrest Fenn's house.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Did you get a picture of the gate like I asked you to?
I might have.
Oh, okay. That's a cool thumbnail, right? We got to use that as the thumbnail.
Yeah, I guess.
In a future show.
I don't know. Yeah. He's weird. I did it for Mike. #Mike. Mike made me do it. Did you guys ever think about what Forrest said about the mirrors in the poem on the map? Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know what to think of that, Tony. Did I find any seashells? I did not. I found no seashells. Sam, can you turn that down just a little? She's spicy. I'll say the bookstore was not open. You could buy books and but that's really all that's happening in Santa Fe.
Well, did you try to go to the lawyer's office where Greg went?
No.
Oh, okay. So that was not, so just to be clear, that was not the reason you went, to see the office or anything like that?
No, I think Greg has cracked that. There doesn't need to be 5 people going to the office or 10 people. The office has been cracked, if you will.
I would have hit a Forrest Fenn searcher coin under one of the chairs. But that's me. I'm crazy like that, so,
Yeah, I think there was different answers to be, but none of it's ready for prime time, if you will. I did talk with a few searchers, and that was really great to have some people that I've known for a while, but I hadn't met. I was able to kind of fill those gaps. Because once you meet somebody, don't you feel like once you meet somebody, you get a little bit more, well, we didn't know each other, and until we met.
While you were there, did you remember our Hilton parking lot encounter?
I don't know what you're talking about, Mike.
After the Jamie Jordan drawing? Oh, okay. Moving on, everybody. It's just memories, that's all. The good old Hilton.
That was actually the day that I showed you the prototype to Chase
Opley, the Thrill of the Chase board game.
That's what you're talking about.
Right. Yes, that's exactly what
okay,
yeah. That's when you were like, I have this idea, but I don't know if I can share it with you. And I'm like, well, you just did, so you might as well come out with it. And then, so. And she opens the trunk of her car, and it's there. There it is.
Yeah,
your rental.
it was like,
because
I had just gotten the okay from Forrest to move ahead.
That was actually, I was like, that's a cool idea. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the rest is history. And now, there might be a house that Chase Opley built.
That's right. You never know. Stay tuned.
He should have investigated the room to see if there's any cameras. Waste of a trip. I don't think so. I think it actually leads more credence to Jack being the finder. That Jack had lawyered up that quickly, I think was really informational. That Jack has said he got the referral from Carl, and Carl is Forrest's attorney. That's huge. So I think little bits of information are really good because they lead you down the path. What are you laughing at, Mr.?
Skeleton Ghost said, is that a Chaseopoly in your trunk, or are you just happy to see me? It was a prototype back then. We refined it. We got it done, because that's what we do. We make things happen.
Whatever.
That's right.
You silly gooses. Okay, so overall, I think it was a good trip to know kind of where Santa Fe is at. I won't say I talked to every person in Santa Fe, because I didn't, but a lot of people are ready to definitely move on. Did you guys see Douglas Preston put out his sneak peek of his next
Oh, the book?
yeah.
And what's it about, or what's the beginning of it about, K-Pro?
D.B. Cooper.
D.B. Cooper. Isn't that a weird coincidence after Forrest dies? His buddy Douglas. But to be clear, it's a Pendergast novel, if anybody knows about Douglas Preston. But in the very beginning, supposedly there's these murders at time of D.B. Cooper, so I want to read it. That sounds interesting to me. But yeah.
Camera footage, information. Yes. You will see some footage that, I mean, I'm going to share what I have.
You posted a picture in front of the Collected Works bookstore, right?
Yes.
While you were there.
Yeah.
So if anybody that was that has joined Cowlazars and K-Pro's Grand Adventure on Facebook, you would have seen that picture. You would have known when K-Pro was in Santa Fe.
Yeah, and that actually triggered a few people to say, I didn't know you were here. I'd really like to talk with you.
Mm-hmm.
You and others have said they received hints from Forrest. If you don't know the solve of the poem, how can you confirm they were hints? Yes, A Whisperer, that's actually my point. So Cynthia believes she was given hints to go to Wyoming. How did we know if they were hints? She didn't until the ending. I was given hints of, you guys all heard dip your toe in it. I was actually nudged down to New Mexico, or that's what I felt. That was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a hint or not? I said yes, we've been given secret hints all along. How do you know if they're hints or not? I know some searchers were upset because there's one that said, I was told to stay in Montana. I was so angry at Forrest. No one knew that they were hints. How can they be a hint if they didn't help you until it was over? It's not a hint.
I think Forrest led people in different directions.
Yes.
Based on his whim or whatever he was feeling that day, you know.
Well, and someone asked me, why would he nudge you to New Mexico? I always told him I had limited time away from kiddos because I didn't bring kiddos boots on the ground. So I really liked corresponding with him, but I was going to be up in Wyoming.
Yeah.
And then when he all of a sudden said, well, then New Mexico, why haven't you looked in New Mexico and nudged me down there? I think it was just so we could finally meet. Was that a hint? Obviously not. It was found in Wyoming. Now, some people that are still in New Mexico said, no, that's because Forrest actually told you the correct thing. No, I believe it was found in Wyoming. I don't know. Okay. I think you were nudged away from the fire hall. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think any of it matters now. I think some want to say they got hints and want to share them to help us try to get further to figuring out the solution. And I think that's okay. I just don't think that they were actual hints.
And was Forrest given a hint in the interview that Jack saw? What if it wasn't a slip up? What if Forrest was actually trying to give a hint? I wish we knew what it was. Then we could make our own determination if we were able to watch it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was walking away from their location anyway. Here, I'll give you a breaking news one. Here's one that'll probably upset a lot of people. I don't care. I was at Forrest's place once, and he said there was one particular searcher that we both knew. She had gone so many times, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times probably. I don't know. And he's like, do you know this person? I was like, I actually knew them a little bit. And he's like, how do you convince them to stop? He thought this person, she was too far in. And I said, just tell her it's not in that spot. He's like, I've tried 10 different ways. I will say to her, it's not, like, send her emails. It's not there. And I said, okay. He goes, she messages me every single day about it. I said, okay, well, maybe you're kind of pussyfooting around. You're not actually saying it. He goes, okay. And he asked me to come over, and we sat down at his computer. He brought up the email because one had come in that hour that says, I'm getting ready to go boots on the ground, and had to make a lot of coordination to get it. And he said, tell her. I said, you want me to respond to this person? He said, yeah. So I hit reply, and I said, your area is incorrect. The treasure chest is not there. you need to stop searching there for your own well-being.
And this was an email from Forrest. She didn't know you were typing.
She didn't know I was
Yeah.
typing it.
Right.
And I said, "Are you good with this?" He's like, "You'll see." And I said, "Okay." And we hit send. And I was like, "Okay." And then we chatted for a few minutes. And then he came back. He goes, "Oh, look." It opened up and said, "Oh, I know you're just wanting to make sure that I'm dedicated and persistent. I know you're just joshing with me."
And that searcher was chasing Indy. No. No,
No, I didn't know chasing Indy at that time. No, I was like, wow. He's like,
They don't believe
They
anything.
don't believe.
Right.
And I was like,
That's when you get a little too
wow.
obsessed, a little too into it, to where you're like, I
Yeah.
know I'm right. Nobody. Just like Dr. Decipher, not to pick on him, but he called into our live call, and his solve was in New Mexico, a soda dam, which was a popular thing before we knew it was in Wyoming, but he still believes he was right. And it's like, it's not. You're not right.
rude. You're rude.
Nah, just kidding,
He's
Candy.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
It was not. Chasing Indy. Yeah, Chasing Indy went hundreds of times with on the ground. No, she was researching. She's the researcher.
Did
I'll
you
make
say
fun
who
of
that
her
person
research.
was?
No,
Oh, you
and
never
I
will?
no, I'm
Tell
not
me
told.
later.
No, I won't tell Mike because he'll slip and say it by accident,
Right.
and this searcher will rip me into 17 different pieces. 17's a hint.
Was it Jenny Kyle?
Are you out of your mind?
I'm just
What is
making
wrong
stuff
with
up.
you?
I didn't even know it was a female. Did you say it was a female or not?
Okay,
Copper
let's
Dan? Was
move.
it Copper Dan? I don't know.
Okay.
All right.
So now we're moving on. Yeah, so I'm the queen of the research, that's right. Okay, so in general, I think that goes back to the notion of nobody's given up their solves. Forrest flat out told people they were wrong, and
Right.
they didn't give it up because it's like, oh, you're saying, like, kind of like we agreed on Wyoming, so that means it's not in Wyoming, they agreed. No, Forrest told me flat out. The reason he said it that way is because he needed to make sure everyone knew he wasn't going against Jack's wishes. Not Jack. I didn't know Jack at the time. So anyway.
Well, look at it this way. I think the name is A. Preston, keeps putting a clip from Forrest where he says, I commented on Dale's blog, let's shut down Montana, Wyoming, and northern Colorado, but they don't care F. Well, one, I don't remember what the context of that statement is, what Forrest was talking about. But think about it. New Mexico makes a Forrest Fenn Day, a proclamation that Forrest Fenn brought all this tourism in. Well, Forrest knows it's not in New Mexico, but he's not going to say anything to drive people away from New Mexico, just like he wouldn't confirm if it was in or outside Yellowstone National Park. You know why? Because he wants everybody to experience Yellowstone National Park like he did as a kid. Whether it was in the park or not, he hoped everybody would go there and get out in nature. And so, I don't know, maybe he directed people into incorrect areas just to get them out, just to get you to go to Santa Fe and have a nice trip, I know.
Yeah.
Or New Mexico, your search
New
area,
Mexico,
wherever
yeah.
that was. It's just a guess on my part, but so instead of saying nothing, I think Forrest said everything to everybody, whatever they wanted to hear. And to him, he's like, I've never told anybody anything that would get him closer to the treasure chest. Searchers thought he was, but really, in reality, he wasn't, I guess. That sound right to you? Now, some people may not like him for that. They may not appreciate that they thought he was helping them, when in reality, he wasn't. I mean, dip your toe in it. Do you think he was helping you? He was helping you to tell you were incorrect in something.
It's funny at the
But-
time when the dip your toe in it thing came about, it was secretly recorded and out. So I didn't even want it out because I didn't know if it was true or not. And you know how many times I went and said, is he trying to say that? So then he wouldn't really give a hint. So then that's not warm water. And then how many times I went, no, I think it's warm water.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I actually did side with, I think it's probably warm water. But would that get me any closer? I don't think it did because I don't have the treasure chest. But I don't know. Where was the slip ups? I don't know where the slip ups are. I believe, I do find it interesting that Jack was astute enough to file the equivalent of a FOIA to get the New Mexico clips.
The tourism video he did?
Yeah, so, or the unedited version.
And it was a FOIA that was filed. That's how we got the unedited version.
Right.
Okay.
And
or a public records request or FOIA, right?
Yeah, well, they said that they didn't have it, and so he
Yeah.
went directly to the director, and the director gave it. It's like, some people would say that's out of bounds. Remember when I was going to file the
Because you're a
FOIA, and some
cheater.
people were like,
Yeah.
cheater! So
Is
is he
Jack a cheater?
I don't know. He's got the treasure chest. There was no rules. I don't know.
But to go back to the Forrest Fenn comment about shutdown, Montana, Wyoming,
Yeah.
Colorado, Nomadic Madman just said that it was in regard to Digging
Weather.
Gypsy being out there in 0-degree weather. And this was in the middle of winter.
Yep.
So Forrest was saying, don't go out there in the middle of winter. Shut it down. He wasn't eliminating states. He was just saying, don't go search in bad weather. But again, that's how I take it. Other people may take that. That means it was in New Mexico.
And it was. He actually said it during our video because she had messaged him the previous pneumonia and was in the hospital.
And he's like, but they go anyway.
So let's see. Paladin says, Cowlazars, did Fenn give you the hint of canyon down, meaning you actually were driving down a canyon? Can't remember how that went. Did he give you that hint, honey? Did he give you that hint, honey?
No, Forrest never gave me any hints, other than he admitted that the word that is key was in the poem. But he never told us what the word that is key is. Excuse me, a word that will help us more than the others. No, which to me is the same thing.
So the question that I asked him...
I don't remember anything about a canyon, do you?
I do.
I don't know. Was I around?
I don't remember. I don't remember life before Cowlazars. I asked him, is the canyon named? And he said, I can't answer that. It would be too big of a clue.
Oh, right.
Cynthia was there, and Cynthia said, that means
it is named.
Or and I said, well, I think it means it's not.
It could mean both.
And we went around and around, and we didn't have the exact words. We didn't secretly record them. And so there was no way to, I mean, I don't think it brought anybody any.
Too big of a clue. Or was he just messing with you? And it doesn't matter if it's named or not. Because if you have the right where warm waters halt, Isolate, you're going to have the right canyon. What is the canyon? And that's all. I can't remember. What's the drive down from I don't know. You guys know what it is.
Oh, yeah, that canyon. There's a canyon there. Yeah. Okay, A Whisper. Forrest called me and told me. Forrest called you, A Whisper? Just called you up on the phone? Okay. Don't go. You will be disappointed. He truly felt bad. I could hear it in his voice. So, A Whisper, you just had Forrest calling you on a regular basis? A Whisper, please explain. Okay.
Okay, Candy has shared an email from Forrest. Are we ready? She said it's okay to read it. Or are you still reading?
Oh, yeah, I'll go get it. I'll be back.
Where's my rum and coke? I guess we didn't plan this very well. All right, Candy just sent me a message. This is from... Candy sent a message to Forrest, an email to Forrest, January 13th, 2020, and says, and I quote, if you could live like a real-life mountain man 100 or so years before you were born, where would you like to go? What would you do once you got there, and how would you protect your pelts for the winter? Obviously, she's trying to get trying to get a solution on where the treasure chest was.
Cheater, fucking eater.
And Forrest's Forrest's email back was, I would like to have been at the first Mountain Man rendezvous that was held in 1825 at Henry Fork. My pelts would have been safe from the weather, but some of the Indians attending the rendezvous were not always friendly, nor were some of the mountain men. Where's Henry Fork? Chasing Indian. What state is that in? I don't know what Henry Fork is.
No, but this is my point. We could go through.
There's a lot of emails from Forrest that people could share. They don't have to be treasure chase related, treasure hunt related.
Why shut down that state and not others? Because a searcher was out in -1 degree weather. She was referenced during our interview, and he was like, I can't believe people are still out there. New Mexico wasn't as harsh as...
It's the southernmost state.
Right. So that was the reason he was like, don't search north, guys, because it's brutal weather right now. That was the context behind it. Whether you believe that, I'm going to leave up to you, but that was the reason that it was, I don't know.
Indiana Jones, get some help. That's all. I don't know
what that means.
Yeah, I don't know what it means either. Indiana Jones is the master of movie references. I will say that.
Okay, I'm going to let the mods deal with some of that. Okay, so...
we can show that. No. I deleted on accident. Oh, no, it's there. But Nomadic Madman? That's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Uh-oh, Sassy says, Forrest lied to me. He said Agua Fria was the best start he'd heard. But...
Okay, I have one.
That's subjective. He didn't lie.
Maybe I'll show this email.
It doesn't mean it was the right start.
I said, Forrest, I know you can't leave Peggy for more than a day. If you were able to, where would you go? And he said, you would fly here, and Shiloh would get on a plane, or like his plane, and take us up to Wyoming to a special spot.
That's not a obvious hint that it was in Wyoming. Think about it.
You just nudged me down in New Mexico. Are you trying to send me up
give me a zip code. Where are we talking?
We already know who has the zip code.
Who?
Are we allowed to say it?
Who?
Remember
No.
the zip code on the?
Oh yeah.
Ah!
No, I said the story. Yeah, I said the
Oh,
story.
okay. So we know who
Yeah.
has the zip code.
Yeah. So I told this story before. We're just not mentioning any names, as we don't on the show. But there was a searcher with their family that was in Forrest's home, and on his computer, right on the monitor, right here in the corner,
Right.
was a sticky note, and on it was the zip code to Yellowstone. Was that a hint?
Hint.
Or was that just Forrest's password to his
Hint.
computer?
Secret hints.
We don't
Does
know.
that person have the treasure chest? No.
But when I met that
No.
searcher, she relayed the story to me and was like, "What do you think that meant?" And
She
I
was
like,
with someone. It wasn't just a she.
Huh? No, she was there with her family to see
I
Forrest.
know,
No.
but if people say she, oh, Forrest, it's a
Yeah,
she.
no. But I was like, maybe he's messing with you, one. Two, maybe it is a password since it was written down by his computer. Or three, maybe that's where that zip code with the treasure chest was, as a reminder to
Okay,
himself.
here's one. Here's one. So Forrest in 2017 or 18 said, I do these 6 questions with Jenny. Come up with 6 questions. I'll give them to you, and I will answer whatever you ask. And I was like, cool. And there's this, I'm going to call him out. He can totally corroborate this story. I said, Decal, you are so much more like dedicated to your solve. I was between solves. So I was like, I don't have like 6 pertinent questions. He's like, let me ask them. And he asked like, is a salamander involved? All these, I just wanted to give that man some closure. And Forrest answered them and said, I can't use these for Jenny Kyle, but I'll answer them for you. And he answered them, and I forwarded them to Decal, and Decal's like, just like the other searcher, and was like, he's just trying to lead you off.
He's messing
in a
with people.
Yes, but
There
it was
should-
like, he said, no, your area's wrong. He flat out told him, no, it was wrong.
I don't believe him, man. There
And they
should
don't
be a
believe
book with just Forrest Fenn emails. No bias. No, this is what he meant. This is not what he meant. Just a book of Forrest Fenn, even communications. That would be interesting. So, is that you as a little girl, Indy? That's pretty cool. She sent me another email from Forrest. Candy asked Forrest, out of all the places on this earth, aside from your pueblo in Santa Fe, where would you go to be home away from home? What do you think his answer was, came from?
Oh, Yellowstone.
I guess I would have to say it would be in my little one-room log
Yeah.
cabin in West Yellowstone.
Yep.
Does that mean he currently
He
has
said
a
he
one-room
still
log
owned it.
cabin?
He told me, Indy and I
This
talked
is
about
breaking news if I had the
No,
button.
he still owns. I have
It
that
is.
picture of
Okay,
Forrest.
explain it, because they don't understand what we're talking about.
Okay.
Forrest told you what, exactly?
Forrest said that is where he would go back to. It's a one-room schoolhouse. Now, well, the one in the book. So, a searcher, and if you're in here, if you're okay with me sharing it, I will try to figure out how to share it. Sent me a picture of Forrest relatively recently at that location. And I, right now, am trying to work with another searcher to get it. He was fishing on that spot up in the Yellowstone area. And here's the crazy part. I think he had, you can't tell exactly, and I need to get the resolution adjusted because it pixelated. He had his new ears on. He only got his new ears in 2018. There you go.
What? You said
Talk
he was
about a
back
rabbit
up in
hole?
Yellowstone? That's not. Oh, see, that's not even where I was going. I thought Chasing Indy was saying that he owned a cabin in Yellowstone.
Oh, he owns a cabin and he owns a.
No, and we're not talking about his family when he was a little kid. We're
No,
talking about
now.
currently. Right
He now
now.
owns it, right now.
Does anybody know where this is? Not that we would put it out there where it is,
No,
because people
that
might
would be
tear it
private.
apart.
People, if people are going to tear apart the
Searchers are
wilderness,
crazy. But that's something I never knew Forrest or Forrest
See,
family
guys, I
owned
don't
a
tell Mike
cabin in
everything.
Yellowstone. Well, no, I knew that part. I just didn't know, you know. So Indy, when he emailed you that back, did you take it as when he was a kid? Because he says, I love that thing. Or did you take it as today? This is my home away from home. So that's pretty cool. Remember what Forrest says, if you rent a cabin.
Carrie,
What?
burn it down.
Oh, that's nice, Carrie
See,
Galloway.
this is why we
Now
can't have
say
nice
April
things,
Fools.
Carrie. Carrie, if that's your real name.
But when Forrest says things like, when I rent a cabin,
No.
I own the
You told me-
barbecue, what a guy
you told
do,
me
blah,
no.
blah, blah.
You
What if he
told me
didn't
no.
rent it? What if he owned it, where the treasure
And there's
chest
a
was?
picture that I have of Forrest with a man, a mystery man. I'm
See, I
gonna
don't
put
know,
the
I
picture.
haven't seen this picture.
Good
Never
grief.
shared this with me.
You know what? You
Ever,
always say
ever.
it's over, so let's just move on to the other person.
Oh,
in
is that
this
what I
paper.
said? Like the beacon star.
Blah blah
Yeah.
blah. That's what he says.
Hashtag GPS,
Ha, ha.
beacon star.
Blah.
Yeah, that's interesting that he owned a cabin up in Yellowstone. Now, is this in the park, like West Yellowstone, or we don't know? Or you know, or does anybody know? Yeah.
I don't ask it. Well, ask Indy
Ask
that.
Indy. Like you see me in Ruffles. Yeah, her picture that she sent Forrest. I'm assuming that's why that was in there. Okay. What if he rents it to other folks to use? Oh, that's a good point, Eric. Eric in Korea says, what if he rents his cabin to other people? That's cool. Forrest painted the cabin to Lacey Brown. Get it? The Lacey Brown? I like it.
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Why is it? Some people believe, and I went down this rabbit hole. That is once he told me that. Oh, I researched titles. I researched. Yeah, he owns.
You tried to find the property he owned?
Think, yes.
You found it?
I might, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. Ask Indy. Indy brought this nonsense up.
Indy, do you know where well, I'm assuming the next email was, what cabin is this? Where is it? I wonder if anybody has been to Forrest Fenn's cabin in Yellowstone. That would be pretty cool, wouldn't it? I wonder how long he's owned it. Was it theirs from when he was a little kid? Or is it something new that he acquired like in 1990?
Indy, Mike's talking to Indy.
Well, I'll get it out of her. We'll have a... There's a big hint. Picture 33, Zozo Rock says. What are you guys doing in Santa Fe? I tuned in late. So this is Santa Fe right here. No, we're in Vegas right now, but K-Pro did go to Santa Fe.
Yes.
She was on a top secret mission, which I think is still top secret, because I don't think you told people what
I told
the
a
big
lot of
news,
people.
the big breaking news. You got the box from Santa Fe.
I did not get a box. I got that. Why do I tell you anything?
Well, I thought we were going to
Mike?
tell people tonight about what you brought back from Santa Fe, because it was never delivered to the UPS store. If you don't want to, we don't have to. I'm just saying, we'll do it in a future show, everybody. I found a photo of Fenn fishing in Icebox Canyon and posted about that. Is that what the picture you're talking about, him fishing in Icebox Canyon?
I don't know if it's Icebox Canyon.
Tony, we are not going to open the phone lines because we're not home. We're actually in a hotel room in Vegas. Oh, Chasing Indy says, K-Pro, oh my God, you got the letter. You got your letter from Santa Fe. Well, I can either confirm or deny that K-Pro got her letter from Santa Fe. When we're back home, we'll talk about that, probably. Monday night, Forrest Fenn Treasure Found. Maybe tune in then.
Wow, I think we're over on time. Oh, look, we've been on more than an hour.
Double secret probation, top secret. All right, everybody, well, there it is, live from Bally's Las Vegas Hotel and Casino. Forrest Fenn Treasure Found. Community's still here. People still want answers. We're going to get it. Eventually, we'll get it.
There's no box. Let me be clear. There was no box. What the hell
There was
did
no
you
box?
just do? There was
Package.
not a box.
Package.
How define?
Yeah, define, yeah. Letter? All right.
This is. I don't tell you it. I'm never
K-Pro will
telling
come
you
out
anything.
with it when she's ready to come out with it. It took her 18 years to talk about Forrest Fenn's Yellowstone cabin. So, or how long did you know? 18 years? 8 years. Anyway.
Hashtag I hate Mike.
Oh.
Divorce. Hashtag divorce.
Uh-oh.
Here. Praying for D's.
What's in the box? That's right, Captain Ghost. All right, everybody. We hope you have a good Friday today. Easter, if that's your thing. Good Friday, spring break, whatever you want to call it. Kids are off from school. Have a good weekend. And we will be live Monday night. Forrest Fenn Treasure Found. It depends what that is, Chasing Indy. Crickets, that's right. Chaseopoly is in the box. Laddie Addy. By the way, there's a box of Chaseopolies on eBay, but somebody already bid on it. So six Chaseopolies is going to some lucky searcher. Just look up Chaseopoly on eBay, you'll see it. What? What are you thinking about? What are you thinking of saying or not saying?
I have it in my purse. Should I show them?
Oh, that's up to you. I don't know. Yeah, I
what
put
do you
on
mean
the
that's
spot.
up to me?
Of course you should show them. All right, Rooster Cogburn says, an insider told me that Bally's will be rebranded as the Horseshoe, and that's not an April Fool's joke.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, it's going to be the
Or
Horseshoe.
everybody's talking about it here in Vegas.
And World Series of Poker is probably going to be here, if not this year, next year.
Yeah.
Schrodinger's cat is in the box. Don't open it. Is it alive or dead? It's both. That's up to you. What do you want to do, K-Pro? Or are we just going to end it?
Jesus Christ.
I can't believe K-Pro and Cowlazars are going to stoof us like that. Show it. That's pretty good. Who said that? That was Paladin. All right, that's pretty good. Pandora's box, show and tell. Good night, everyone. X marks the spot's done. Lucky Digger says, you can't end it now. Wyoming is in the box.
I don't know how tonight got here.
Well, anyway, yeah. All right. All right, everybody. I guess that's going to do it. We'll see everybody Monday night for the Forrest Fenn Treasure Found. What? You good? Are you good?
Yeah, I'm great.
All right, well then end this thing. So put people out of their misery.
Okay.
If you don't, I'm calling you, Chasing Indy says.
Okay.
We'll find out what's in the box, Lauren says. Just tell them the wind blew it away. Or the wind blew a stick in there. That's what was in the box. You can't figure out how to stop it, can you?
How the
Hit
hell
the
do
three
I-
dots on the bottom.
I did. Get me out of this hell.
We double tap it. Yeah, I don't know, double tap it.
Oh wait.